Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our next guest is Kevin Craig. Kevin, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
And Kevin is a new realtor, right?
Yes.
Transitioning. We always do a little pre-realtor talk, so you have a whole lot of pre-realtor information. So I always use the same bad joke. No one goes in second grade and says, I want to be a realtor. So talk a little bit about your journey pre-realtor and how you got here.
So believe it or not, I went to school for engineering.
Okay.
And then realized after getting a job in engineering, I can't sit behind a desk for 8 hours a day.
Okay.
So then I decided to become a cop. And so I was a cop for 25 years.
Okay.
And kind of always knew I wanted to do real estate either on the side or eventually when I retired. So I retired this year and got my real estate license, and now I'm doing real estate.
There you go. Nice. Now, did you dabble in any type of real estate throughout your life, like rental properties or construction jobs or anything like that, or just...
No, I did. I had a rental property with my sister at one point.
Okay.
Did some home remodeling, not necessarily as a business or anything like that, but I always did a lot of home improvement stuff, especially with my father. He was an engineer, so we always did all the home improvement stuff ourselves. So thought about getting into doing flips and stuff like that, and just realized that's over my skill level at this point.
Okay.
So I'd rather deal with getting people their flips.
Nice. Nice. Now, have you been able to leverage relationships that you made in your previous career to catapult you in this career yet, or is that just kind of in the building stage?
No, actually, yeah. I had a good friend of mine who actually was in the same position. He was a police officer, and then he retired and got into real estate, and he's kind of been helping me out. I got to kind of surround myself with a lot of the right people, kind of, teaching me how to do things and stuff like that. So yeah, I have a lot of contacts from people all around, from my police world and stuff like that. So it's definitely been a helpful thing.
Okay. Now, you just started and you chose your company. Tell me a little bit about how you came to that choice, because almost everybody's like, oh, where I'm at is the best, and this is why I went there. So, what were some of the factors that went into you making the decision to join a company like Real, who's a kind of new kid on the block kind of company, and not the everyday old school Berkshire Hathaway type thing,
So it's interesting that there's a group that I got hooked up with while I was a cop. It's called the 10-7 Project, which is specifically for cops transitioning into real estate, either part-time or full-time. And they were using real brokerage. And at the time, I didn't know of any real brokerages in the area, because again, I'm used to the brick and mortar. You see the Axis and Hathaway and stuff like that. So I wasn't sure where to go. I actually interviewed at a couple different brokerages, and then found a real brokerage that was literally the next town over from me. So it worked out pretty good, and once I went there, I met everybody. I was like, this is kind of where I'm meant to be.
Yeah. That's normally how it works out. When you get to the right place, you know it. You know what I mean? You feel it, like, hey, this is home kind of thing. So what are some of the things as a new realtor that you're doing to kind of promote yourself to get business? Are you doing social media? Are you doing anything crazy like that? Any advertising? What are you doing?
I haven't done too much as far as advertising. I'm still a little shy on the social media end of it, because I guess I'm the older generation. So I'm doing a lot of the old school mailers and marketing and stuff like that, trying to just get my name out there. Some of the old school ways, but also just going to the different events and stuff like that, and trying to make all the contacts, get my name out there. But it's been a little bit of a struggle since the beginning.
For sure, it is normally, especially transitioning. Like if you were a salesperson in 5 different areas and now you're doing real estate sales, that's different than a completely and totally different thing. You know what I mean?
I spent 25 years trying not to be noticed.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to get out there and being noticed.
We have a loan officer here that's been here for 2 years that is a retired Camden policeman who did his time there. And, it's definitely a transition from all that. You know what I mean? And he's a really great guy, and his biggest struggle has been that push and that salesperson thing, because like you said, you're trying to be under the radar or not be noticed, and now you have to be noticed. You have to walk in the room and be the shining light instead of the observatory in the back. Yeah. So what have you done? Like, have you done stuff like personal development stuff? Are you doing like podcasts or any type of personal sales training, anything like that?
So, well, this is actually my first one of any kind like that. I've been trying to learn more about the podcast area and trying to get that out there. Just simple things like the Instagram, Facebook kind of thing like that. Nothing too major, but I'm trying to learn the different ways to get it out there. But this is my first venture into that realm.
Now, are you consuming any podcasts? Like, are you listening to like whether it's there's Ed Milet who does a lot of sales stuff. There's Joe Rogan who does personal topics, or there's Tony Robbins who does personal development. Are you doing any sales based stuff like that, or?
So everyone listens to Joe Rogan. Right. I love that. Colton Lindsay, I've been following a lot of his stuff because he's connected through us and stuff like that. So a lot of his stuff. Been listening to Tony Robbins a lot. Okay. Just kind of still trying to feel out which is the best fit for me, because some of it doesn't necessarily absorb and then the other ones do.
Sure. It's in sales is a funky thing. You know what I mean? Like, I started out in sales, and I've been through like corporate sales trainings, and I've been, I was like a national sales manager for a furniture company where they teach you like, all the different, sales techniques and the boomerang method to overcome objections and all stuff. And not every salesperson can pull that stuff off. You know what I mean? So you really have to hear stuff and make it your own. Take what sticks and bring it in. So like, do you find yourself to be more of like a personality salesperson
100%.
Than a technical training?
Absolutely, because that was always my gift. Was I can pretty much talk to anybody, and I was always talking to everybody. So yeah, it's definitely more of a personality thing for me. I can find common ground to talk with anybody, whether it be criminals for all those years or just now. So I think it's definitely my personality that is suiting me best to get the environment going that I want to get going.
Awesome. Okay, now let's go outside of real estate. What do you do for your heart, for your spirit, for your personal time? What are your hobbies? What do you do for Kevin time as opposed to work time?
So, I train jiu-jitsu. Daniel Tavares Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I train there like 3 to 4 times a week. Do the gym thing and golf. That's kind of my therapy, keeps me grounded and stuff like that. So, see how bad can your day be when you start out getting choked out in the morning? The rest of your day is pretty easy.
Choked out and then play a couple rounds.
Then go play a couple rounds of golf, and then it's not bad. But that kind of keeps me mellow on both sides.
What's your favorite course?
I play Pittman a lot. I play Valley Brook a lot. But probably my favorite course would be Seaview down where I used to work.
Gotcha. I am not a golfer at all, but I live like 20 paces from White Oaks course.
I've probably hit your house then.
I've never played it, but I've eaten there.
Yes.
Which is...
good food there.
Yeah. I do Top Golf, and I've done one scramble. One time I sucked.
That's the best thing about it. You can play best ball. You only have to hit it once, and everyone else goes from there.
I have yet to do the full golf. My dad, who lives in San Diego, just took up golf like 2 years ago, and he's like, dude, so much business happens. You have to learn how to play golf. And I was like, I'm cheap, as in frugal. The concept of paying $80 to go somewhere
to have a nice long walk ruined by a little white ball.
Yeah, and I'm also an ultra perfectionist. So like, if I went to Top Golf and I was really, really good, I'd be golfing all the time.
Sure.
But when I am not the kind of person. When I talk to golfers, so like, look, you have to understand that you suck, and you just have to get a little bit better. That's not me.
I've been golfing 30 years, and I'm still horrible.
Oh, if I suck at something, I don't want to do it. I don't want to mess around. I'm like, no, I don't play it. There's way other stuff I can do that I'm good at. I'll do that instead.
There you go.
But for the last 3 years on my New Year's resolution thing, I've made it a resolution that I'm gonna learn. This year I'm gonna learn how to play golf. But I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. We had a Top Golf membership here at work. I did go there and we went a bunch of times. Not as bad as I used to be. at least 50%
You're getting that
of the
much
time.
better. You're getting that much better. It's what keeps you coming back. You have 5 horrible shots in a row, and you get that one good shot, and that's the only one you remember, and you say, I'm going to come back again next week.
Yeah, but that's the weird part. That's not how my head works. My head works like the 5 times I suck, I am crazy because I'm like, how was it so good that one time, and then I'm bouncing it off the brick divider in the middle of it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't get it. And then it's gotten to the point where like I'll go with my kids.
Oh,
you
they're
know,
better than you.
And
that's the worst part to
with
swallow.
my kids, I'm fine because there's no pressure. You know what I mean? Nobody's watching me. It's no big deal. They suck. It doesn't matter, you know? And I'm hitting it, and I'm like, man, I'm hitting it really good. It's straight most of the time. I'm really good. Then I'll take 3 realtors out with a title guy, and I'll whack it off the side. I'm looking here, and they're all doing really good, and I suck, and then it spirals down, and I'm like, why can't I hit it that way? So,
Yep.
Maybe we'll see. We'll have to do a recap in 2023 to find out if I've actually done a full round or gone through.
Even
there.
if you just play 9 holes at a time, get the the confidence up there.
I used to have an office in Washington Township, right around the corner from the
Birches.
9-hole thing.
Yeah, Birches. Yeah.
And for 2 years, me and 2 of my friends were like, dude, this week we're gonna go play 9 holes, and it never happened.
See, I grew up playing Wedgwood.
Okay.
Which is one of the hardest courses around.
Right.
So that's why I hated when I was younger. My father had me out golfing when I was, a teenager.
Okay.
But he had me golfing in one of the hardest courses around.
Sure,
So now
sure.
everything's easy compared to that.
Right. Right. All right, now we'll go with your final question. We'll go sports. If you could go back in time and witness any sporting event that ever happened, what event would you go and see? And you can bring one person with you. Who would the person be that you want to go with you to watch the event?
So the one event that I would probably want to go see was when Tyson lost to Buster Douglas because it was the only Mike Tyson fight I didn't watch live.
Okay.
It was when he lost.
I love that.
Yeah.
No one has ever said that when I asked that question
It's
in my entire
it's not
career.
an amazing fight or anything like that, but it was the only one that I didn't watch
Wow.
live. And
Okay.
because actually I remember asking later, what happened? Oh, he lost. I'm like, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
No, he really did. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'll probably take my father if my father was still around because
Sure.
we always used to go to all the sport events together.
Awesome. Kev, thank you so much for coming
Thank you
by.
very much.
We'll be right back with the next guest on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.